India has been a great follower, but not a great leader. There are days when I've gone to bed hungry. And within 5 years, I got India's highest science prize. I never thought that I will sign in the same book that Newton has signed.
Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar is a renowned Indian scientist and a pioneer in shaping India's research ecosystem, intellectual property rights, and industrial advancements. A Padma Vibhushan awardee, his contributions extend across polymer science, Gandhian engineering, and national R&D policy making. His leadership as Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research transformed it into a globally competitive research powerhouse. Born to a modest family in Goa and raised in Mumbai, Dr. Mashelkar's journey is a testament to resilience and intellectual brilliance. He pursued his chemical engineering at the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. His exceptional research there in polymer physics and rheology gained international recognition. Over the years, he has held prestigious positions in global scientific organizations, think tanks, and corporate advisory boards, bringing an innovative approach to R&D in India. One of his most impactful contributions is the concept of Gandhian engineering, that is, achieving affordable excellence. Under his vision, India has pioneered many cost-effective innovations, including low-cost drugs, indigenous space technology, and frugal engineering. His efforts in strengthening India's intellectual property rights ecosystem were instrumental in protecting homegrown innovations. Dr. Mashelkar continues to be an influential thought leader, advocating for disruptive innovation, AI-driven research, and globalizing Indian science. As chairman of the National Innovation Foundation and a member of key committees, he remains committed to positioning India as a global leader in deep tech, sustainability, and futuristic industries. His legacy lies not just in scientific discoveries, but also in inspiring young minds to push the boundaries of innovation. So, on behalf of VishwaConclave, I would like to welcome you to today's session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's truly our honor to have you here. So, to start the session, let's go to the beginning of your journey. Your humble childhood in Goa, from there to becoming one of India's most celebrated scientists. It's truly inspiring. So, I've always found it very fascinating how our early days shape our future and our lives. So, how did your early struggles and experiences influence your vision for the future of science and technology in India?
No, first of all, I want to thank you for having me. In the company of the young, one feels young. And I really appreciate this opportunity. Yes, you are right. When you talked about my humble beginnings, I remember that a village called Mashel was one where I was born. My father died when I was 6. My mother was illiterate. Illiterate is not the correct word. She could read, she could write, but she never went to school. And she brought me to Mumbai, and it was a big struggle because 2 meals a day was a challenge. There are days when I've gone to bed hungry. I walked barefoot until I was 12. I studied under streetlights. Now, while all that was happening, there's a basic principle that scarcity and aspiration is a deadly combination. All right? That's why I always tell young people, keep your aspirations high. Just to illustrate the point, when I was studying Newton's laws of motion, I never thought that I will sign in the same book that Newton has signed. So what is it all about? Engineers don't get Nobel Prizes, but the next honor is Fellowship of Royal Society. It is very rare. In 365 years, only 4 engineering scientists have got this honor. And Ruddam Narasimha is no more. So there are 3 of us. And I remember when you receive that honor, you sign in the same book that Newton has signed. And I happen to be the only Maharashtrian in 365 years to have signed it. Not that I'm happy about it. I think there should have been many more. And it's a unique experience of your life. You sign it in the same way that Newton has signed. That means there is a ink pot, and then and they make you practice, actually, because we are all ballpoint fellows.
Right.
All right? So that you should not take too little ink, so that you dip twice. And you should not take too much, because otherwise you will spoil a page. And they show a page that has been spoiled by a fellow. Don't do that, they would say. In fact, along with me, there was a Nobel laureate. He found it very hard to do that, and he said it was easier to get a Nobel Prize than to sort of sign it. So that was the journey. And in that journey, one realized that you have to realize that no matter where you are born, to whom you are born, under what conditions you are born, your future lies in your hands, basically. Okay? I remember there was a conversation about what is the most powerful equation that the world has seen by a scientist. So somebody said Newton's second law, force equal to mass into acceleration, F equal to ma.
Right.
Somebody else said Einstein, E equal to mc square. And I was sitting quiet, and they said, what do you think? And I said, not Newton, not Einstein. The most powerful equation is E equal to F, education equal to future. But I correct that equation now. Education is not future. Education plus opportunity is future. You see in India, there are PhDs who are applying for jobs of lower division clerks. This is not
Right.
all. So therefore, education is a must, but society, the government, the industry must give an opportunity for young talent to flower. So that was one lesson that I learned, because I had these sort of opportunities. Secondly, that opportunity comes in different ways, particularly for poor people like me. So I remember there was, in the year 2000, I got this Padma Bhushan. I have got Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. So Padma Bhushan was in 2000. And I remember, along with me, Ratan Tata also got Padma Bhushan. And that was given by K.R. Narayanan, who was then the president. Now there was something strange about that, because K.R. Narayanan was also born in a poor family. So poor that his parents could not afford to pay his tuition fees. So he would stand outside the class and take notes. And later on his life changed, because he got a Tata scholarship and went on to become the president. In my case, it was the same. I would have left studies after I did SSC, Secondary School Certificate Exam. In 1960, I stood 11th among 135,000 students, and I got a Tata scholarship. So here is a Tata scholar, the president, honoring another Tata scholar, and Ratan Tata himself.
Wow.
All right. But in this particular case, both K.R. Narayanan and I got opportunity, not
Right.
just education. So that was the lesson that I had. And therefore, coming back to your fundamental questions, with that particular background, the conclusion is a very simple one, that all the young people have enormous possibilities. They can reach their potential, provided those opportunities that are given. And finally, they are given this particular choice. You must do what you like and like what you do, basically. All right? The combination of these can make the future.
Sir, I think we should consider every opportunity as a big opportunity.
Absolutely. You have to create opportunities. They don't come sort of walking to you.
Right.
All right? I always say that you keep on knocking on doors, they don't open. Create your own door. You understand? Create your own opportunities. I remember when I came back in 1976, India was a poor country. We are still poor, but better off. Foreign exchange was very difficult to get. Our reserves were very low. I needed a sophisticated equipment called Weisenberg rheogonymeter. I still remember the model R18. It would take me 2 years to get it. What do I do for 2 years? So that door was not opening. I said, what is the equipment God has given me? This. So I went into mathematical modeling and simulation, where I only used this. In 1977, I started the work. And within 5 years, I got India's highest science prize for under 45. That is Bhatnagar Prize.
Wow.
All right? Why? Because I didn't get disheartened when I didn't get the opportunity to work on rheology because equipment was not there. I found an alternative path. That's my firm message to the young, because they get, purpose, perseverance, passion matters. And in that, when you talk about failure, that failure has to be looked at as a first opportunity in learning. That is how it has to be explained. And you have to learn sort of from that. So failure to get that equipment didn't deter me. I found alternative paths. That's what the young have to do.
Yes, sir. So, since you brought up the fellowship in the Royal Society, so when you were signing the same ledger as Einstein and Newton, what were the thoughts that were going on in your mind?
The thought that was going on in my mind was that a boy who studied under streetlights can sign, provided he has been given opportunities in life. And I never thought when I was studying Newton's laws that I would sign in the same book of that Newton has signed. So it was a very overwhelming feeling, and particularly when you realize in 365 years, I'm the only engineering scientist from Maharashtra who has signed. That becomes even more overwhelming, but it also makes you humble, so as to say. I recollected my mother at that time, very frankly, because whatever I am is because of her, not because she gave me birth, but she gave me values. I remembered her, but for her, I would not be signing in the book. I'll tell you why. Although she could barely read or write, she understood the value of education. And I remember normally in mathematics, I would get 100 out of 100. Occasionally, I will get 97. I was happy. I was looking at the 97. She would make me sit and she would ask me, where did you lose those 3 marks? So I was looking at 97 and she taught me to learn to look at the 3 that I lost. That perfection that sort of comes up in life. Then there was a very interesting incident, because every day she had to struggle for some job, some stitching, something, daily wage. So she had gone to Congress House near Prarthana Samaj, stood in the queue because they used to distribute jobs.
Right.
And the person who was distributing those jobs said that the minimum educational qualification is third standard. Are you third standard pass? Now she could have lied because there is no certificate of
Right.
third standard. Never lied in her life. She said, I have not gone to school. How can I have third standard? So she said, you can't get a job. Then while she was returning, she said, why have I been insulted? Because I don't have education. So I'm going to make sure that my son gets educated to a level which is the highest. I don't know what it is. Then I became Eng, bachelor degree in chemical engineering in
Right.
ICT, as it was called UDCT then, University Department of Chemical Technology. I had got a job also in. She had found out that there is a PhD. So she said, no job, you'll have to do PhD. Then I did PhD. I said, now it is over. Huh? She said, no, there is something called postdoctoral research. You must do that. And I remember when I got my, you get honorary doctorates by different
Right.
universities who honor you. So I got my 25th honorary doctorate. I remember going to her and telling her about that. She was ill at that time. And she left us in 3 months' time after that. And she said, now I'm happy. Now I can go. In fact, I recalled it. Dr. Kalam had the record of 49 honorary doctorates. So I've broken that. I got the 50th one.
Oh, wow.
And while receiving that 50th one, I recall this. I said, she's no more, but she must be watching and must be laughing that because I did not have third standard pass, I did not get a job and my son has created a national record. Currently, I have 54. It's the national record of the highest honorary doctorates. So coming back to your question, while I was signing, none of that would have happened if my mother had not insisted on higher and higher and higher education. I would not have gone into research. All right, so I owe it to her.
Sir, building on your values and visions and lessons from your journey, you translated your aspirations into action through the Anjani Mashelkar Foundation. So, sir, this is an establishment that truly carries a very distinctive and meaningful identity. Could you share what inspired its creation and how the name reflects what it serves?
You mean to say about Anjani Mashelkar Foundation?
Yeah.
Well, there again my mother comes in. No matter what you talk, my mother comes in there by the way. So what used to happen was that I was the Director General of CSIR. I used to operate from Delhi headquarters. But I never left my research. Every Friday evening I will come to Pune. Saturday, Sunday I will be in the lab. And while going away on Sunday evening, whatever money I had in my pocket, I would give it to her. I always carry some cash, 100 rupees, 200, 500, whatever it is. We never asked her what she did with that money. When she passed away, my daughter Shruti was creating her covers and organizing saris and all that. And she found all that money there with a little chit. And the chit said, don't forget our beginnings. Do something for those who do science for the poor. Of course, it was in Marathi, but I have translated it in English. So that is where I created Anjani Mashelkar Foundation. Because at that time I had got one big award also. I put it all in some of my savings. Now that foundation was for the following purpose. First of all, India has been a great follower, but not a great leader in science. Being first to the world doesn't come to us easily. Being first to India, we'll say first in Shukravarpet, first in Pune, first in Maharashtra, first in India, means nothing for me. I'm not a great believer in best practice. Why? Because when you say you are following best practice, the word is following.
Right.
I'm a believer in next practice, where next practice becomes best practice for the rest of the world. So I created this award where people follow the next practice. Secondly, uh, high technology, making it work for the rich is very easy. Low technology working for the poor is very easy. Making high technology work for the poor is very difficult. So I said, we'll award those who make high technology work for the poor. And these awardees were incredible, what they have created. Now, I created the foundation in 2011, 14 years now. 17 November will be giving the 15th award. What they have done is miraculous. And we focused on health, and we focused on screening and diagnosis.
Right.
Because, for example, breast cancer, if you find it right at the beginning, your chances of survival as well as expense is minimal, and chances of survival are very high.
Right.
But you go to stage 2, stage 3, very expensive, and your chances of survival are very high. So there is Mir Shah, who has developed what is called as eye breast. All right? You just move it around your breast, and within a minute you come to know whether you have cancer or not. Now contrast this with mammography,
Right.
which is very, very expensive, very, very painful. Plus we are subjected to radiation. Here there is no radiation
Right.
and easy to use, basically. And $1 is the cost.
Hmm.
Today this has gone to 20 plus countries, and more than 2 million women have been screened. You know, on the other day we had ASHA workers. ASHA workers work for everyone, but nobody works for them. So we had a camp of 500 ASHA workers, and they were tested, and 16 of them were found positive, and their lives were saved. All right, and because it is so simple, they line up.
Right.
Because it is not sort of painful. Look at TB, for example. Now, to find out whether you have TB or not, you have to take X-ray or sputum test or whatever. We have created something where the TB test costs 1 rupee.
Hmm.
Now, what is it? Now, all of you are aware of the way artificial intelligence is changing the world.
Right.
So we use artificial intelligence. The breakthrough is called Shwasa. Okay? So you take a smartphone like this and you cough into it. And the audiometry of the smartphone is trained to recognize whether it is benign or whether it is TB or whether it is COVID or whether it is pneumonia. You know, so they use cough as a biomarker, so as to say. The science behind this is so high that it has been published in Nature. All right? The government of India has taken this up for screening. See the advantage now. One of our problems is not just affordability, accessibility. In a remote village, the nearest hospital you have to change 3 buses to go to. Here, a woman from her home can cough, and the best doctor in Pune can sort of say whether she has that.
Wow.
Because it's all digital.
Right.
You get the point.
Yes, yes.
And such affordability, 1 rupee, anybody can sort of afford. So there are 14 such innovators. Take for example hemoglobin. What would you do if you want to test your hemoglobin? Somebody will come in the
Right.
morning, prick, take a blood sample, show it to you,
Yeah.
take it to the instrument lab, and at around 4 o'clock, you will get a WhatsApp.
The report.
No. Here, easy check. Just put your finger there and you know the reading. That's all. It's a terrific technology. Costs 10 rupees. That's it. And you can see now the impact of this. I was the president of Swarupavardhini, which looks at the poor. their education. I just stepped down after 10 years. And in my final speech, I told them, you're looking at education, look at their health. Because we had mobile laboratories. I said, children come there, test their hemoglobin count. You'll be shocked. Our normal hemoglobin levels will be between 12 to 15 if you are healthy.
Right.
Anemic will be 6, 7. They have 4.
Oh my God.
Now, what is this impact? When those levels are so low, your brain doesn't develop. So we always talk about brain power. Where will the brain power come from? Their entire life is gone
Right.
because of lack of brain development. So there is this Swarup Vardhan now has taken it to 50 schools today. And they get diagnosed, and you will be surprised. 25 to 30% of them are anemic. And then we give them now the big advantage is that you get an instant reading there.
Right.
You don't spend the whole day. So now we are partnering with, for example, Walkart has these 1,000 mobiles. Each mobile doing around in villages, etc.
Okay.
Now this will replace the current method. You don't have to waste the whole day.
Right.
You get my point? So there is what is called as an FX as a kit that has been created, where whether it is BP, whether it is hemoglobin, whether it is ECG, everything is done within sort of a few seconds, few minutes for a fraction of.
So I think all of the examples that you took, these are very trademark examples for the concept of Gandhian engineering. That is doing for less, doing more for less for more. So, sir, could you explain what exactly is the essence of Gandhian engineering?
Yes, in 2008, I was honored by the Australian Academy in Canberra. And I was the first one ever to be recognized. So I said they don't know enough about India because there are 100 people who are better than me and they have chosen me. So I said I will talk to them something about India. So I coined the word Gandhian engineering, getting more from less for more. I said you fellows are familiar with computer engineering, mechanical engineering, this is Gandhian engineering. Now what is Gandhi's Gandhian engineering? Mahatma Gandhi had said, there is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. What it means is that the exhaustible resources, please use as little as possible to create more and more, so that you can preserve them for the rest of the generations to come. That means getting more from less. Similarly, he had said, the benefits of science must reach the poorest of the poor. That means for more. So more from less for more. That was the beginning of Gandhian engineering. And then what happened was that the legendary C.K. Prahlad and I wrote a paper in a Harvard Business Review. Because this is like innovation's holy grail. Getting more and more for less and less people is easy. Right. iPhone 10, iPhone 15, iPhone 20, they become more and more expensive and less people use it. That is more from more for less and less. Getting less and less for more and more people is easy. All right? Jugaad, knockdown products, low cost, low technology. Poor can afford it. That is LLM. So not MML, not LLM, MLM.
Yeah.
Getting more from less for more, like I give you the
Right.
sort of examples. So that became Gandhian engineering, and I think I spoke in more than 25 cities around the world on this. I spoke in World Bank, I spoke in Asian Development Bank, and they created programs on the basis of this, because world's biggest problems in order are climate change and increasing inequalities. Now, despite income inequality, how do you get access equality? Gandhian engineering gives you that. So my book, More from Less for More, has just been published. It has just come, where you will find how the concept originated and how it can create a better world.
So, this also follows the concept of sustainability and sustainable innovation, right? So, how do you see the advancements in smart materials and nanotechnology, or topics like biodegradable polymers? Like, these are topics that you worked on. So, how do you see these shaping the future of sustainable innovation?
Now, all these new technologies, whether it is nanotechnology, whether it is modern biotechnology, they are going to make a big difference. Vaccine against cancer. People have been struggling to develop one for last 50, 60 years. And Russians just now had a breakthrough through mRNA. There is a colon cancer vaccine that they have created. It's a big breakthrough. Can you imagine a vaccine against cancer? So far, we're not
Right.
successful in that at all. Similarly, you can look at smart materials. In fact, my own work has been in stimuli responsive smart gels, which respond to a stimuli. All right, they have tremendous applications in practice, including in drug delivery. You want to deliver it at a particular pH, at a particular time, rather than taking it all along and it creating challenges with it because of side reactions, this, that, and the other, etc. None of that will sort of happen. I personally believe that, like artificial intelligence, it is going to change the world, and I give you examples of
Right.
how AI is sort of used. What we have to do, however, is that remember, there's all these technologies can work two ways. Like the rifle was given to the guards of Mrs. Gandhi to protect her. They used it to kill her. In the same way, technology,
Right.
drones, for example, they can deliver medicine to the poorest of the poor in the remotest area when floods came. But at the same, the drones have been used for killing in the war. So I think it is all up here on how do we make technology work for the good of the people. I think that is the challenge. Technological advances will keep on taking place.
Yes, I think we should really keep that in mind on how we are using the
That's
upcoming
right.
tech.
That's why AI, when it is taught, ethics has to be taught along with it. Yeah, that's true.
So, being here in Pune, we are reminded of your transformative leadership as the Director General of CSIR. So, there you really reshaped the world of Indian R&D, and when we think of your time there, you fought one of the most historic, the turmeric patent case. So, sir, could you walk us through that historic battle and what it felt like defending India's traditional knowledge on a global stage?
Oh, there again, I must tell you, I must bring my mother in. It happened because of her. No, you'll be surprised how can that can happen. So what happened was that once, hot summer day, there is this director's bungalow. I was NCL director. And me, my wife, and my son, Anemia, was sitting. And suddenly a bird came and fell. And its wing was broken. My mother ran downstairs and brought haldi, turmeric, made a paste out of it, and applied. And the bird died, unfortunately, in 2 hours' time. My son Amey was feeding him. I still have that picture. And then we buried him in our garden, and we were all crying, basically. So that had etched in my memory. But what was more important was that during dinner, I asked my mother, how do you think that what applies and is useful for a human can be useful for a bird?
Right.
And that semi-literate lady gave me the wisdom. She said, all living are the same. Whether it's a tree, whether it's a bird, whether it's a fish, and so on and so forth. The universality, and that's what we are taught. So that has stuck in my mind. Then one day I was reading Times of India, And I saw that the wound healing properties of turmeric were patented in the US. I said, what the hell? My, my mother's mother knew it, and so on and so forth. Because for patenting, you require three criteria: novelty, non-obviousness, and utility. Okay? There was no novelty once you have done it before. So I think from here, not from here. So in the evening, I was giving a public oration, Hussein Zahir Memorial Oration, and I declared that I am going to fight it.
Okay.
Now, it was a wrong thing to do, because as Director General of CSIR, as a scientist, I had all the freedom in the world. But as Secretary to Government of India, I could not make any such announcement unless I had taken the permission from the government, from the minister.
Right.
But I said, forget the minister. You get my point? Many times I have done that in my life, by the way. My heart said, you have to fight. Unfortunately, the whole country backed me up at that time. And we fought. And we won. It was not difficult at all. People felt that we spent several dollars to win it. 5 lakh. Simple tha.
Is it?
And re-examination was ordered. And in 14 months, we produced all the evidence from all our literature and showed that this is not. But that became historic. I still remember so much that Gopal Krishna Gandhi once said, he remembers 2 satyagrahas. One is salt satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi, and second, Mashelkar fighting the turmeric battle. What impact it had was the following. I became, that was a stroke of luck, the chairman of World Intellectual Property Organization, SCIT, that was Standing Committee on Information Technology. So there are 176 nations. And I asked them, because they did not look at traditional knowledge as knowledge at all. Okay? And therefore all these wrong patterns were being taken on our knowledge. So I said, you think that knowledge generated in Harvard, Caltech, Princeton, Oxford, Cambridge is knowledge, and knowledge generated by predecessors in laboratories of life is not knowledge? That is not fair. So I challenged them, and we had to create what was called as a traditional knowledge resource classification. All right? Yeah, coding. And I came back, and I must give credit to Mr. V.K. Gupta, who is unfortunately no more. It was his idea to codify it in the way the patent examiners, because patent examiners have a language in which they read the classification. Right. So where there was a zero class in terms of traditional knowledge, we created 200 plus subclasses of traditional knowledge. So that was the first time they started recognizing it. Its impact was that we created what is called as a traditional knowledge digital library. Okay. We are just celebrating Silver Jubilee of that fight, by the way. Yesterday, a big team had come sort of in connection with that celebration. So it had two effects. First is that we found that there was not just one wrong patent, there were hundreds of wrong patents. So I went to the patent office, US patent office, took 10 samples, okay, the patent that I had granted. I took Sanskrit shlokas, where that invention was already there. I took English translation, and I said, this is what you consider novel. This is what my people have done thousands of years ago, one after the other. Then they were fair, actually. They took me around. They said, when turmeric patent came, we put the keywords turmeric, powder, wound healing. So nothing came on the screen. Right. Because all that knowledge was either in your heads or in your ancient books. We don't have access. So that is where the idea of traditional knowledge digital library came. And we had 3 million pages, 30 million pages of traditional knowledge, basically. So yesterday, the team that had come, I told them that don't be just satisfied in protecting. So no wrong patterns are now given, because any multinational who applies for such a patent is caught now. So biopiracy has stopped. But I said we must go beyond biopiracy. I told them yesterday that with this vast database, they must use artificial intelligence, because that will give you a clue to new therapies, maybe new molecules, new indications, so as to say. That is the purpose of bringing traditional wisdom and modern science together, which can make a difference.
So, sir, since we're talking about patents and the advent of AI, I think it is really promoting the innovation culture in our country. So, what is your mantra for the aspiring innovators?
They are simple, as a matter of fact. Normally, I give them as Mashelkar mantras. I would sort of say they are applicable to the innovators also. Mantra number one is keep your aspirations high. Like you want to be CEO,
Right.
that's a good aspiration, or CTO, that's a good aspiration. Want to be Prime Minister, President, World Champion, keep them high. And I give the example of Gukesh, who at the age of 8 said, I will become World Champion, Chess Champion, and he became. So aim high. Aiming low is a crime. The second is that, particularly for young, they think they can do anything or they can do everything. You can do anything but not everything. And therefore, focus is very important. All right, in your career, there will be several temptations. How about this? How about this? How about this? Oh, I can do this, this, and this, and so on and so forth. Don't. I learned this lesson from my teacher. I went to a poor school, but that poor school had rich teachers. One of them was Principal Bhave. And he did not believe in chalk and talk. He believed in learning and doing, doing and learning. For example, once he took us into the open. Sun was shining. He had a convex lens in his hand. He had a piece of paper. He moved it up and down, and there was a bright spot, and the paper burnt. When the paper burnt, he turned to me for some reason and said, like this, if you focus all your energies, you can burn anything, you can do anything. That became my life's mantra. That's what I would like to talk to the innovators also. Now, that mantra had a deeper meaning as I went forward. Because convex lens, sun's rays are parallel.
Right.
And what is the property of parallel lines? They never meet. What does convex lens do?
Meets those lines.
They make them meet. So I coined the word convex lens leadership. All right? Because it is about bringing, despite your race, religion, language, India needs convex lens leadership. We can't be divided sort of on the basis of these. What does concave lens leadership do?
Separates
It takes them further apart. All right? So therefore, an innovator, you become startup, this, that, and the other, etc. You have to bring different people together, so as to say.
Right.
So you must have convex lens leadership. You must have focus. That's second. The third is purpose, perseverance, and passion. You must have big purpose in life, basically. Not only for yourself, but for the nation as a whole. Perseverance. Winners never quit, quitters never win. And I told you about fail, first attempt in learning. Your best guru, you know who it is? Your last mistake. As long as you learn from it. That's the fourth one. The fifth one, I already told you. you keep on knocking on the doors and the doors don't open. You create your own door. And I give you the example. So for innovator, this will always be the case. And finally, there is no limit to human imagination, no limit to human achievement, no limit to human endurance. Look at Sunita Williams.
Right.
What must be her endurance? Being alone there in that space, talking to herself, basically. So those human qualities are very important. That also I learned from my own teacher, by the way. Professor Siena Rao, he is a Bharat Ratna. I remember I became FRS, Fellow of Royal Society, and as I told you,
Right.
in 365 years, only 4 of us. So I thought you would say, wow. You know what he said? Not bad. So I was disappointed. Then I became Fellow of American Academy of Arts and Science, which was formed in 1760. Only 7 Indians have become so far. It was created by Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. And great people like Einstein and Nelson Mandela have become, and so on. I was the 7th Indian. So I thought now he will say, wow, not bad. Then I said the 3rd or 7th doesn't work with him. Then I became the first from National Academy of Inventors to become a fellow. First. I said, at least now he will say, wow. You know what was his response? Not bad. Then I got mad. I said, sir, what do I have to do to impress you? And his answer is something that an innovator should always remember. He said, you are climbing on a ladder of excellence, which is limitless.
Right.
Accepting the limit you put on yourself. So my message is a very simple one. The message is that no matter what we achieve, you have to say, my best is yet to come.
Right.
How old are you now?
20.
20. So you have minimum 80 years to go. Minimum. Okay, all of you will live for 100 years. Every day, when you get up in the morning, you should say to yourself, my best is yet to come, and today is the day. You will become 25, 35, 85, 95. Even when you are 95, say that. And if 1.4 billion Indians do it, my best is yet to come. Not just for myself,
Right.
my society, for our nation. Where will India be? Right at the top, at the Committee of Nations. I thought we can end there.
Sir, just one last question. Sir, so since we're talking about the future of India, let's maybe look at 2047, where India celebrates 100 years of independence. So, sir, almost 25 years down the line, how do you see fields like AI, clean energy, and biotechnology evolving?
Oh, well, they're the essence, uh, energy. As we know, fossil fuels are getting consumed, and we are infinite source of energy, like solar, like wind, and renewable energy is going to be the future. We have to create a sustainable world. So, for example, biotechnology, just now this word biohappiness has been coined. MS Swaminathan completed 100 years. I was the chairman of the celebration committee. A book has come on biohappiness. So as we move forward, how do we integrate ourselves into nature? It is not us versus nature. Nature is showing itself what havoc it can create. And who is creating that havoc? Ourselves. All these floods and what you see, the disaster, is climate change. And climate change, who is responsible for it? We are responsible for it, so as to say. So my hope is that India at 100 would be a kind of a iconic nation, showing how ecology, environment, economics, equity and ethics can balance each other and become a role model for the rest of the world.
Thank you so much, sir, for that thought-provoking session. And on behalf of VishwaConclave, I would like to thank you for such an insightful conversation.
Thank you.
It was truly our honor, and I think a big inspiration for all of us and the youth who will be watching this.
Thank you. Thank you.